when our belief systems support and are aligned with our goals and our dreams, our bodies, our behaviors, our habits naturally lean towards it. We can naturally put our focus onto it, which manifests it. Our body leans towards it, which actively creates it. And it becomes very easy to create our goals and dreams into fruition. But when our beliefs are not aligned with our goals and desires, they limit us from them. These are called limiting beliefs, which can cause procrastination, self-sabotage, brain fog, confusion, a feeling of stagnancy or stuckness, which is why in today's video, I'm talking about 3 guaranteed ways to get rid of your limiting beliefs. What's up? What's going on? My name is Sabrina and welcome back to the channel. Here in the Better You space, we teach creatives, dreamers, and entrepreneurs how to train their minds to make their daydreams their real daily lives. If you're looking for a full transformation, feel free to check out our Everything You Need to Know in One group coaching program, Unleash Your Life, or one-on-one private mentorship. You can book a call to apply with the links below. And if you haven't yet downloaded my free 3-part Train Your Mind workbook, you can do so with the link below as well. And let's get into it. The first thing I want to talk about is discrediting the evidence behind your limiting belief. So we have these beliefs because there may have been quote unquote evidence that our minds have picked up on from the past, from other people, from our experiences. And it takes this evidence as quote unquote truth. Now, we consciously know that we create our own truths. We create our realities. But if our subconscious mind is convinced that something else is the truth, that's what's going to control our behaviors. That's what's going to control our habits, our thoughts, our emotions, and it's going to stop us from creating what we want. And so I want you to look at what is the evidence of this limiting belief that is around you in your life right now. Let's say you want to start an online business, but you have thoughts come up in your mind of you're not organized enough to run an online business. And that is your limiting belief that you're working through. I want you to discredit the evidence. Think about what is the evidence, the memories, the circumstances that your mind might be holding on to that you are incapable of starting this business, and list it out. Let this be a journaling practice. Write this down. Take notes on this video, please. Write down all of the pieces of quote unquote evidence, all of the reasons that your mind has made up to why you are incapable of doing this. And I want you to just look at this list and know that this isn't actual truth. This is just what your mind has picked up on. Always take what goes on in your own mind with a grain of salt. Like, don't always believe what is going on in your mind. And I want you to look at this list, look at the reasons, look at the quote unquote evidence that your mind is saying this is why it's not possible for you. And I want you to start discrediting them. Why are these things not true? If it is I'm not organized enough to start a business, I want you to look at that and say, is that really true? Am I really that much of an unorganized person? When have I been organized to be able to handle something? If I really have never had any type of organization, have I in the past been able to hone in on a habit or skill that I hadn't before? Do I have potential to become this organized person? Yes. Okay, I can see in the past I was able to study for school. In the past, I was able to get work done for my boss. Okay, I have evidence that I am able to get a little more organized so I can start up this business. Random example, but start to dissect each little reason and piece of evidence that comes up. And keep doing this until you successfully feel like, okay, I feel like this doesn't have to be true about myself. I feel like this doesn't have to be true about my life. Build up evidence that supports your belief of how you can do this and discredit the reasons in your mind to why you can't. All your subconscious needs in order to switch one belief to another is more evidence as to why the supporting belief is true. Your mind is like a garden. It takes whatever is planted. And so if there was a limiting belief that was planted in your mind from years ago, that's what's going to grow. It doesn't actually mean anything about you. It's very neutral. And I don't want you to take these limiting beliefs that you see come up for you. I don't want you to take them personal. I don't want you to identify with them. It just is. They just exist and you can switch them. They don't define you. Okay. And the second guaranteed way to get rid of your limiting beliefs is to lower the emotions behind them. Now, what do I mean by this? Emotions and beliefs really tie together. The the stronger of a belief you have, the more emotion you have behind it. The stronger the belief becomes, the more emotion comes up with that. It's just a positive, it's just a feeding loop, whether it be a positive belief or a negative belief. Sometimes the only reason a limiting belief might be held into your mind is because there is that heavier emotion attached to it. Now, you hear me talk about regulating your emotions all the time, because if you don't switch your emotional patterns, you cannot get to a new level of you. You cannot successfully train your mind to create a whole new reality for yourself if you're constantly repeating the same emotional pattern. And so with this limiting belief, I want you to notice what emotion comes up with it. Is it anger? Is it irritation? Is it frustration? Is it sadness? I want you to identify with it and just rate on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being like this emotion is very strong and 1 being this emotion is barely anything. I want you to rate the level of emotion that comes up when you think about your limiting belief. Okay, this is going to be your guidance system as to how much you are working through this emotion. Okay, so you have your limiting belief written down, you have the emotion that it brings up, you have it rated on a scale of 1 to 10, and I want you to do some sort of practice to bring that emotional level down. If you haven't yet watched it, I have a video of the 4 different tools to regulate your nervous system. This really helps in terms of regulating your emotions. When you have a high level of uncomfortable emotion, your nervous system reacts, right? When we regulate our nervous system, we can regulate our emotions. Those 4 tools you can utilize to move through this emotion. And I want you to know it's not just taking away the emotion, the negative emotion from the limiting belief. It's also adding the positive emotion to the supporting belief. It's like a scale, right? Whatever belief runs our subconscious body, runs our behaviors, right? Our subconscious mind controls 90 to 95% of our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. So whatever beliefs are running our bodies is whatever belief has more weight behind it. And when we put more emotion behind the belief, whether it be positive or negative, we're adding more weight to it. So I want you to alleviate the emotion from the negative limiting belief through either one of those 4 tools to regulate your nervous system. I personally really love EFT. That's what I take all my students through in Unleash Your Life when we work to go through these limiting beliefs, and we go through the whole deep process of removing and rewiring your limiting beliefs to supportive ones. But you can use other tools as well. So I want you to alleviate that negative emotion, and then right after, add and grow so much positive emotion towards your supporting belief. Because I don't want you to just get rid of this limiting belief. I want you to also wire in a supporting one. So what is that supportive belief? And I want you to create all this evidence behind of why the supporting belief is true. And I want you to feel into it, open your heart and feel into the emotion as if this belief were true, because it is. There is a potential for that, and we're tapping into it now. And I want you to allow this emotion to grow and grow and grow and grow until you're literally jumping up and down in your bedroom, until you're literally screaming from the rooftops, until you're literally crying tears of joy. Okay, that's the level of emotion that I want you to be feeling. And it takes practice, but we want to add more weight to the supporting belief to wire it in. And that is guaranteed to work. You're going to feel so amazing after you do that. And the third thing that you need to take with you if you want to get rid of your limiting belief is to stop feeding into the story. Every limiting belief comes with a story. It comes with the mind telling us of why this is the way it is, why this is just how life is, what happened in our past that's causing us, that's forcing us to exist in this limited way. Okay, every limiting belief comes with some sort of story. And I'm sure as you think about your limiting belief, it's like, if you just ask yourself, why is this limiting belief true for you? Your mind automatically comes up with a story. Say you have a limiting belief of it's hard for you to get sales, okay? Your mind already comes up with, because I have to be working X amount and I can't be on all the platforms yet and I don't have money for ads yet. And your mind comes up with all of this whole story. And I want you to stop feeding into it. That is the narrative. That's your self-concept that's kind of running the show. We need to become aware of that and stop feeding into it whenever you notice it. Practice. I'll link above this as well. It's another video I suggest all the time, and it goes through the practice to actively rewire your mind into a new story. And it's the practice of PRR. Pause, regulate, rewire. When you notice your mind caught up in an old story that you don't want to live in, that you don't want to manifest, you pause, stop what you're doing, regulate. So regulate your nervous system, calm down that emotional aspect, get yourself to a calm and grounded state, and then rewire. Focus on what you do want. Focus on what you do want to create. Write a new story and repeat it to yourself. Look at that supporting belief that you want to create for yourself, the opposite of the limiting one, and write a new story as to why this is true. Why is it so easy for you to get sales? Why is it so easy for people to just fall in love with you and your content and to want to buy into your brand? How is it so easy for people to find you and to tell their friends and to tell their parents and to tell their coworkers and for everyone to just constantly come in and create more sales in your space, create more impact? Why is it easy for you? Create a new story for yourself, and that is the story that you need to start feeding your brain. If you got to this point of the video, leave your favorite way to rid yourself of the limiting beliefs in the comment section below so I know who made it to this point. Give the video a thumbs up to help out the channel. Please remember to subscribe and hit the bell button to be notified every time I post a new one, and I will see you in the next video.